Hello and welcome back to my channel. I hope you're all doing well. I'm back with another book haul, and you might be thinking to yourself, you just posted a book haul, and you are right, because I did recently post a book haul for January through March, which is Q1 of 2024. However, we are halfway through Q2 and I bought more books, so mind your business and watch the video. I've been watching a ton of YouTube videos and so many recommendations and of stuff that people are reading that seems like stuff that I would want to read. So I went ahead and ordered a bunch of stuff, and then I also ordered a few series that I wanted to get. So a lot of these are like completed series, and I know you're not supposed to do that. You're not supposed to buy a whole series before even reading the first book of something, but people whose recommendations I trust have read some of these and like them a lot, and I think that I'm just also gonna like them. Some of them aren't the full series, some of them are just the first book, which is what you're technically supposed to do, but whatever. I ordered the whole series for some of them. Most of them I ordered either on Amazon or at Book Outlet, and my husband and I also made a trip to Half Price Books, so I got a lot over there. I could probably be my favorite store. I do love Half Price Books. Now I am going to be filming yet another book haul coming up soon, because there's a lot of new releases coming out in June and July that I want to get. And then also there's an Amazon sale happening on May 15th. So I'll probably order some things there. There's just a few things that I still have my eye on that I plan on buying. Hopefully it's not going to be as big as this one, but we will see. We have a ton of books to get through. In fact, there are 6 piles of books behind me. I think there's like 72, 73 books, something like that. I think I was just under 75 for this haul. So we have a ton of books to go through. A lot of these I don't really know what they're about, but I have a general idea, or like I like the author, or you get the idea. Again, we have a ton of books to get through, and let's get started. I think I'll start with the pile that's closest to me. So I have 99 Days and 9 Days and 9 Nights by Katie Cotugno. These are supposed to be romantic comedies set in the summertime, and you know, summer's coming up, so I wanted to get some more summer books to read. The covers are super cute. They look like they're just kind of like painted. I assume this one is kind of like a love triangle situation, because it says One Summer, Two Brothers, An Impossible Choice. This is just the sequel. I haven't read anything by this author yet, but you know, you can't really go wrong with a rom-com. So I'm sure I'll like these, and I'm excited to get to them in the summertime. Next is my most recent book purchase, which is Powerful by Lauren Roberts. And this is the novella that literally just came out a couple of days ago for the Powerless series. And then book 3, Reckless, is going to be coming out sometime in July, I believe, early July. So I wanted to get this one. I'm currently reading Powerless, and so far I'm really liking it. I'm liking Lauren Roberts' writing, and like it is, this is a YA series, FYI. And so far I'm really liking it. So I'll give you my full review at the end of the month when I finish that. And then this one is also on my TBR for May. I believe this is the love story of Adina, who's Peyton's friend from the first book. So yes, so I'm very excited to get to this one. Then the next 3 books I got are by Elena Armas, and that is The Long Game, which is, I believe this is one of her newer releases. I also got The Spanish Love Deception and The American Roommate Experiment because I saw Ellen read these and she really loved them. They're like really high on her favorites. So I'm excited to read these. So I got these 3 books by Elena Armas. They're interconnected standalones maybe, I'm not really sure. But this one is going to have a second book that's coming out this summer as well. So I'm excited to get that. Also, the next 2 are because Ellen recommended them and loved them, and that is Behind the Net and The Fake Out by Stephanie Archer. So these are sports romances. I believe they are hockey, and it's the Vancouver Storm series. And I've been really liking hockey romances lately. The last one I read was Icebreaker, and I loved it. It was a 5-star read, so I want to get a few more under my belt. So I ordered these 2 based on Ellen's recommendation. I'm really excited for these as well. And then the next one is the last book of Crescent City. This is House of Flame and Shadow by Sarah J. Maas, and this is the 3rd one in the Crescent City series. Why is that a tongue twister? That's such a tongue twister. Crescent City series. Yeah, Crescent City series. So, okay, so the story behind this one is I have the Barnes & Noble exclusive editions of book 1 and 2. They're sitting on my shelf right here. I think you can see. Yep, right there. When I went to Barnes, I asked them, like, when is the third book going to come out, like, to match this set? And she said it's probably going to be like another year or something. So I didn't want to wait to read that. So I saw this one, and this is actually the international edition, and that's why it's the paperback. I was a little worried at first that the international edition might be a little different than like the US edition. I heard that they can change some of the language for if it's like the UK edition or something, they'll like change some of the language in there. But one of my friends asked on her Instagram, don't ask me who, said that this one is the same as the US edition. So I ended up ordering this one, and it is in paperback, which I'm very happy about, and it is very floppy. Look at that, it's like a bird. I just love a floppy book. So that is the next one, House of Flame and Shadow by Sarah J. Maas. And this one is on my May TBR. It is a very long book. How many pages is this? 835. This is 835 pages. So hopefully I'm going to be reading this month and then finishing Crescent City. So far I'm loving this series. I mean, this is a denser sort of series. I keep saying that in all my videos because it is very chock full of information. There's a lot going on. There's a lot of characters compared to other books. There's just a lot to it. It takes a lot of brain power to read this. Nonetheless, I'm very excited to finish this series and get to this book. And then I'll be done with the series. And you know what that means? That means that I'll be moving on to Throne of Glass and starting that one next, because this is the year of Sarah J. Maas. So I have to read all 3 of her series. Yeah, I'm excited. So that's this one. Okay, which pile do we want to do next? Let's just do this one. Okay. Then I have the Laura Thalassa 4 Horsemen series. And this series includes pestilence, war, famine, and death. So the reason I got this series is because I finished Bewitched by her, and I absolutely loved that book. I don't know why, but I was so into that book. I just kind of fell in love with that book. I loved the characters. I loved her writing in that book. So then I decided I'm going to read some more of Laura Thalassa books. I ordered this one and then another one, which I'll go through next after this. But this is the next series that I'll probably read from Laura Thalassa. And I don't know much about what this is about. After I bought this, I did see Ellen read, I think it was the first book, and I don't believe she liked it very much. I think she said that it's like basically one of the four horsemen is pestilence, and he comes up from hell, and then it kind of like starts spreading the plague across the world and takes the main character as prisoner, and she's like really into him, but it didn't make much sense. She didn't seem to like it that much, but I'm not sure. Obviously I haven't read it yet. But I'm going to give it a chance just because I liked Bewitched so much. And I ordered this series before I saw her review of it. So we'll see if I feel the same if I start it, if I end up DNFing it. I don't really know. But I do have the series. So that is the next series by Laura Thalassa that I'll be reading. And then the other series by her I got was the Bargainer series. And this one is also 4 books. And they are Rhapsodic, a novella, which is Emperor of Evening Stars, A Strange Hymn, and Dark Harmony. So for this series, one of my friends who's also a bookstagrammer has actually read this series, and this one she liked, so I'm excited about this one and I can't wait to read it. And then finally, this is also a series. So there's 5 books in this series, and this is the Darkverse series by Runix, and these are like dark romances or mafia romances. I'm not really sure. But this was also recommended to me by my bookstagram friend who has read this and loved it, and you know, she's read them multiple times. So this is a pretty highly rated one as well, I think. So the books in this series, and these are really heavy for some reason. The Predator, The Reaper, The Emperor, The Finisher, and The Annihilator. I have not read anything by Runix yet. If this is dark romance, I don't think they're like super dark. I think they're more mafia than that, but don't quote me on that because I don't know. I have not actually read this, but these books are absolutely beautiful. I kind of love that they're really heavy and have like, they're a little bit larger than like most paperback books and pretty floppy. So I also really love the covers. So I'm excited to read this. I don't know when I'll be reading this, but hopefully I start this series soon. Okay, now we have another series. Now this I got at Book Outlet. I think it was a box set. So that's why I got all 3 of these. But these are the Darker Shade of Magic series by V.E. Schwab. And this includes A Darker Shade of Magic, A Gathering of Shadows, and A Conjuring of Light. This is the same author that wrote The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue, which is one of my all-time favorite books. So I definitely want to read more books by this author, so I'm excited to get these, but I absolutely have no idea what these are about. Obviously, there's magic in them, probably something with magical realism, I'm not sure. I loved the writing in The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue. It was very lyrical and beautiful. I just loved it. Is one of the best books, I think. If you have not read it, definitely get it and pick it up. I absolutely loved it. So, V.E. Schwab, The Darker Shade of Magic series. I'm excited to get to it as well. Then I got another box set at Book Outlet, I believe it was, and this is L. Kennedy's A Good Girl Complex, Bad Girl Reputation, and The Summer Girl. So these all looked like summer reads, obviously that's in the title. So I was looking for some books to read this summer, and I got this set, and I think these are just romances. I have not read anything by L. Kennedy yet either. But again, this was a box set, so they all came together, which I love because then they all match and they're all the same size, which, you know, is just the best thing ever. So I'm excited about these. Hopefully I get to them before the end of August. But yes, because I do have a lot of romances on my list to read this summer. So I'm hoping to get to these this year as well. Then I got a few more Emily Henry books, and these are Happy Place, People We Meet on Vacation, and then the new release that just came out, which is Funny Story, and I did already read this in May, so you'll be getting my review on this in my May wrap-up, but I absolutely loved it, I'll tell you that now. It was really great. I love Emily Henry's writing. This was my first Emily Henry book, so I'm really, really excited. I want to read all of her books now. I do have Beach Read on my May TBR, so hopefully I'll be getting to that this month, and you'll be seeing a review on both of those Emily Henry books, and then I have these two to read in the next couple of months as well, so these are the 3 Emily Henry books that I got this month. Let's have a coffee break because I've been talking a lot. The next 2 books I saw at Book Outlet, and these are by Chloe Leese. I think that's how you say her name. But they are Two Wrongs Make a Right and, what is this? Better Hate Than Ever. Two Wrongs Make a Right and Better Hate Than Ever. And I saw Ellen read these or buy these. I think they were in her book haul. I don't know if she's read them yet, but I saw them. I liked the covers of them. They look kind of like early fall here, like the leaves are kind of a different color. And this definitely looks like fall, so I thought these would be good to read in the fall for romances. I know in the fall I do tend to lean more towards reading fantasy, but it'll be good to break that up with a few romances. So these are like fall themed romances, I think, but I'm excited to read these. So we have these 2 by Chloe Leese. We're making some good progress here. So let's maybe do this pile next. Next, I got Half a Soul by Olivia Atwater, and this one is on my May TBR, as you saw in my May TBR video. This is a fantasy, but I'm not sure what it's about. I also saw Ellen read this. One of my friends is reading this, but this is another one that I got that I've been seeing all over booktubes. I think I also saw Haley read this. So that's the next one, Half a Soul by Olivia Atwater. The next set of books is also another series, and this is the Love Light Farms series by B.K. Borison, and that includes Love Light Farms, Mixed Signals, and In the Weeds. And these all take place at a Christmas tree farm. I believe this one is for Christmas or during Christmas, and then these are kind of like, looks like spring and summer. And again, book 4 of this is coming out later this year, I think in the fall, so I'm going to be wanting to get that as well, but I think I'm going to wait to read this during Christmas because I have a couple of books right now that I got for that, that I'm kind of saving to read in December, just to get me in the mood for the holiday season, which is very exciting. But right now, let's focus on summer. Let's focus on summer, okay? I'm very excited about this series. I'll definitely be reading this in December, and then these 2 probably in 2025. And I'll definitely be getting the 4th book to complete the series. So yes, so Love Light Farm series. Then I got a few Abby Jimenez books, and I already have a couple of her books that are on my TBR. One of them I'm going to be reading, I think it's Part of Your World. I'm going to be reading in May. That's definitely high up on my TBR, and I definitely want to get to that this month. She's got like 3 interconnected books, and it's Part of Your World, Yours Truly, and then this new one that just came out just for the summer. And I've been seeing everybody read this recently, and everybody's like absolutely loving this book. So I'm going to be reading Part of Your World, and maybe if I get to Yours Truly, I doubt I'll get to Yours Truly this month, but probably next month. And then I want to read this really badly, just because everybody's been really loving this book. So I got this one to complete that series. And then for her other series, I believe it is The Friend Zone, The Happy Ever After playlist, and then Life's Too Short. So this is her other kind of interconnected series. So I also got these to complete that series. But I'm super, super excited about this because everybody is like just absolutely loving this book. And everybody's talking about it. Everybody's loving it. So I absolutely cannot wait to read this. Okay, then my husband and I went to Open Books downtown Chicago, or in West Loop, Chicago, which was my first time going to that store. And I liked it. And I found this series there, which is the Atlas 6 series by Olivia Blake. And these are sci-fi, I believe. I saw Haley Pham read this. I think she liked it, so I wanted to pick these up as well. And this is Atlas 6, which is the first book, Atlas Paradox, and then Atlas Complex. And yes, I know that my series is 2 hardcovers and 1 paperback, which is not ideal, but I think I found a cute way to display them on my bookshelf, as you saw in my bookshelf tour video, where it still kind of looks kind of cute with the paperback kind of propped up on top. So these are sci-fi. I've never read sci-fi before, but I am excited to try them out. It's kind of like a new genre for me, so that's this set. Then I got the Dirty Air series by Lauren Asher, and these books include Throttled, Collided, Wrecked, and Redeemed. I saw Ellen read this series on YouTube and she loved it. These are F1 romances, so I think it's like Formula One kind of car racing situation. But she loved this series. And then I saw book 1 and book 2, Throttled and Collided, at a half price book. So of course I picked them up right away. And then I ordered book 3 and book 4 just to complete the series on Amazon. So I have this set, and I'm really excited to get to the series because I just read Lauren Asher's Lakefront Billionaires book 1, which is Love Redesigned, and I loved it. So I loved her writing in that. It was really cute banter, really funny. Again, you'll get my full review at the end of the month, so I can't wait to start this series. And speaking of Lauren Asher, I also picked up the fine print, which is her Dreamland Billionaires book 1, and I saw this at half price books, so I had to pick it up as well. And then I'll probably have to order the other 3 books that are in this series on Amazon, maybe during the Amazon sale. I don't know. So she's got Lakefront Billionaires, Dreamland Billionaires, and then Dirty Air series that I want to read. Then I got 2 books by Ali Hazelwood, which is Loath to Love You and The Love Hypothesis. I just read an Ali Hazelwood book, which was Bride, and I absolutely loved it, so I want to go ahead and read a few more of her books. This is a set of 3 novellas in 1 book, and it includes Under One Roof, Stuck With You, and Below Zero. So those are like 3 novellas about 3 different couples, I believe, and it's all just kind of like in 1 book. And then this one is A STEMinist. It's women in STEM. Everybody knows about this book. Everybody's probably already read it. So I just wanted to go ahead and get that. The Love Hypothesis and Loath to Love You. And then also I have her Love Theoretically book on my TBR for May, as you saw in my last video. So I'm excited for these. Okay, I also picked up 2 Taylor Jenkins Reid books, The 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo and Daisy Jones and the Six, and these both have also been making their way around BookTube, Bookstagram, whatever, for a couple of years now. They're highly recommended. Everybody loves these books, so I didn't want to miss out, so I just picked these up as well. I don't think these are romances. This one is kind of like an interview style of the Daisy Jones and the Six Band, and then Evelyn Hugo is, I believe she is a movie star, and this is also kind of like maybe an interview style, don't quote me on that, I'm not sure, of her life and like her relationships. These are both very highly rated, so there's no reason why I shouldn't read them and why I haven't gotten them sooner. Don't judge me. The next book I got was By a Thread by Lucy Score, and I have not read anything by Lucy Score yet. I know she has a pretty popular series out right now, As We Hide from the Light, something like that. I don't really know, but I wanted to try her writing out with like a standalone book first. So I saw this at Half Price Books, and it's a grumpy boss romantic comedy. So I wanted to give this author a try, and that's the next book. Then we have The Deal by Elle Kennedy, and this is a sports romance. I'm not exactly sure which sport though, but this is also part of a 5-book series, and if I like this one, I'll probably end up getting the others. I think this is a fan favorite. A lot of people are loving this series. It came out a while ago, and now I think the author is coming out with another series that's kind of like a spin-off off of this. So we'll see if I like this. I'll maybe commit to the other 4 books and the spin-off series eventually. That's The Deal by Elle Kennedy. Then I picked up another Christmas book to read in December by Christina Lauren, and that is In a Holidays. All I know about this book is that it's written by Christina Lauren and it's about the holidays. It's a little older. It was published in 2020, but that's okay. I did need a few more Christmas reads to read in December, so this is going to be added to that pile. In a Holidays by Christina Lauren. And then I got a dark romance, which is Priest by Sierra Simone. This was recommended by my friend. The series was recommended by my friend. She read the series. I don't think book 1 was her absolute favorite. I think the second one, or maybe it was the third, were more of a favorite. But I did end up getting this just because I've been curious to read this, and I got a few dark romances to read on my list right now. So we'll see how I like that. And then the other 2 books in the series are Sinner and Saint. So we'll see. If I like this one, I'll end up getting the other 2 as well. Yeah, Priest by Sierra Simone. I've been talking a lot. Then I got what I think is another romance set in the fall season, which is Funny Feelings by Tara DeWitt. Don't yell at me for butchering these authors' names. I really don't know how to say that. Tara. It's got to be Tara. Tara DeWitt. And I don't know anything about this book. All I know is that it's a romance. The cover is beautiful, and it looks like it's set in the fall because they're kissing in the rain. And then there's like fall foliage here. So what more can I say? It's a fall romance. So I'll be reading this in the fall. This is such a beautiful cover. I just love covers like this. Okay, so she's a stand-up comedian. That'll be interesting. I haven't read anything like that yet. And it looks like she might be falling in love with her friend. So this might be a friends to lovers, stand-up comedian, set in the fall kind of situation. So I'm excited to read this. I'm excited to read all of these. Next, we have The Simple Wild by K.A. Tucker. And this is another one that I've seen everybody reading. I saw Ellen read this. I think someone else as well. Maybe Haley. I'm not sure if it was Haley, but Ellen for sure. So this is about kind of like a city girl from a big city somewhere going to Alaska, and I think she falls in love with like a town local kind of like, I don't know if he's a cowboy or what, maybe an Alaskan cowboy. I don't know, but it's a romance. So there's this one. Next, since you know I love vampire stories, I picked up A Dowry of Blood by S.T. Gibson, and I don't know anything about this book. It was giving me Bride vibes or something. I think this is a Bride to Dracula, maybe? Constanta is transformed from a medieval peasant. God, that's a tongue twister. Why can't I talk today? Constanta is transformed from a medieval peasant into a bride fit for an undying king. So here's S.T. Gibson. Another recent release, and that is Wild Love by Elsie Silver. And this is the first book of her new series that she's coming out, and that is the Rose Hill series. And I think this is about a single dad, maybe. You already know I'm reading Chestnut Springs. I got the other series. I'll probably read this before I start her older series, which is, I can't remember what it's called right now, but it's the one that's like Off to the Races, A Photo Finish, The Front Runner, and A False Start. So that was her first series that she came out with. She also came out with Chestnut Springs, and this is the third one. I don't know if she wrote anything else, but I have all these. So I think I'll read this, and then I'll go back to The Photo Finish after I finish Chestnut Springs. So, but I do believe this is about single dads. So then another book that I saw at Half Price Books or Book Outlet, I can't remember. I think this was Book Outlet. Things We Leave Unfinished by Rebecca Yarros, and this is the author of Fourth Wing, Iron Flame, and then Onyx Storm that's coming out in January, which I'll probably be getting as well because I did like that series. I didn't love that series, but I liked it. This is her romance book. This is not a fantasy. This is a romance. So I wanted to try out this genre of hers to see what I think about it. This one's not super high on my TBR, but I'll definitely get to this eventually. Things We Leave Unfinished by Rebecca Yarros. We've got 10 more to go. We're in the final stretch. Then I got another one for kind of October to read, which is a vampire kind of romance. And this is My Roommate is a Vampire by Jenna Levine. This is supposed to be a romantic comedy. My friend read this last year, so I got that. It's got pretty good reviews. I don't know if it's like a 5-star read or anything, but it's kind of like just an entertaining kind of romantic comedy for Halloween. And it's also set in Chicago, which is where I live, so now I have to read it. Next, I got Once More with Feeling by Alyssa Sussman, and this is also a romance, but I'm not really sure what it's about. I believe it's a pop star or maybe just a singer. I don't know, but it's music themed and it's a romance, so I got that. And then obviously I'm in my romance era right now. Springtime, summertime, this is where I want to read romances. I also got Romantic Comedy by Curtis Sittenfeld. This is in fact a romantic comedy, and it's also called Romantic Comedy by Curtis Sittenfeld. So it's also a Reese's Book Club pick at one point. I don't know when this came out, but one of my friends read this, loved it, so I picked it up. Then the next one I got is A Fate Inked in Blood by Danielle Jensen. And this is my March 2024 Book of the Month choice. I technically should have included this in my last book haul, but I didn't, so here it is. This is a fantasy, and I know a lot of people are reading this right now and liking it. I don't know anything about it, so that's all I'm gonna say is it's a fantasy. Hopefully I'll be reading that soon. I also picked up Hook, Line, and Sinker by Tessa Bailey, and this is the second book to It Happened One Summer by Tessa Bailey, which I loved. It was actually the second book that I read when I started reading again, and that is the one that really got me back into reading. So it will always hold a special place in my heart. It is also the book that my best friend rebound for me, which is right there on my bookshelf, right there. Sorry, my bookshelves are a little messy because I took all these books down in order to film this video. And so they're looking kind of bare because all the books are here. But anyways, this is the second book. So this book follows Hannah and Fox. Hannah is Piper's younger sister from the first book, and Fox is the best friend from the guy in the first book. I can't think of his name right now. It is their story, and this is the second book in the Bellinger sisters series. I don't know. They're interconnected standalones, I believe. The next book I got was Never by Jessa Hastings, and I have not read anything by Jessa Hastings yet. However, she is the author of the Magnolia Parks universe, which I am also really wanting to read because so many people love that series. So I'll probably pick that up soon and maybe show it in the next book haul. Who knows? I think this is a Peter Pan retelling. I saw Larry read this and she didn't like it. So I don't know how I'm going to feel about this. It's not super high on my TBR for that reason, but we'll see. I mean, I will probably get to this eventually. The cover of this is absolutely beautiful. I've never read a Peter Pan retelling or like any fairy tale retelling, so I kind of wanted to give it a try. And I do really love this cover. Like, the cover is absolutely beautiful. So that's Never by Jessa Hastings. Next I have Neon Gods by Kate Robert. So this is a modern retelling of Hades and Persephone. So that's kind of giving the Scarlett St. Clair books A Touch of Darkness that I read in January of this year, and I really, really liked it. And this is also another Hades and Persephone's retelling. And I know there's more books in this series, which I don't have, but I think I'm going to give this a try before I buy the other ones. So that's Neon Gods by Kate Robert. Next, we have Must Love Books by Shauna Robinson. This was on the Book About Books list or something like that I saw at Barnes. It's a work of fiction. I can't say for sure if this is a romance or not. I think it is, but I'm not 100% sure, and I don't know anything about it. All I know is that, okay, it was blurbed by Taylor Jenkins Reid, and I think she just writes kind of like literary fiction stuff. So this might not be a romance, I'm not sure, but I know it's a book about books. So somebody in this book must be a reader. So I'm going to read it. So that's this one, Must Love Books by Shauna Robinson. Next, I have a thriller, which I've seen everybody reading and loving. I think I saw this at Open Books, so that's why I picked it up. And because I've been seeing everybody reading it, one of my friends has read it and loved it. So the next one I got was The Silent Patient by Alex Michaelides. Please don't yell at me for butchering these authors' names. Michaelides. Michaelides. Yeah, it's like Michael Ides. I don't know. Yeah, this is definitely a thriller. Something about a wife killing her husband. I don't know. But everybody's been reading it and they've been loving it. So I got this one to read probably in like September, October, November time. That's when you read fantasy thrillers, fall themed books. So I wanted another one of those. And the last book for this haul, we have The Familiar by Leigh Bardugo. This is another vampire book. It's about vampires. I don't know exactly what about the vampires, but I have a few books of Leigh Bardugo that I have not read yet. However, they're all very highly praised. So I wanted to pick this up because this is actually a first edition, and I don't know how long they're going to be selling the first edition books. And then the first edition book has the black edges as well as this kind of end paper, whereas the regular second edition or whatever are just normal. So I wanted this one because it's cute and it's about vampires. Set in Madrid. She's a scullion and she has magic. Okay, and something about bettering the family's social position. So yeah, we'll see what this is about. It's just a beautiful book and I love the cover. I don't have a lot of special editions. I don't know if this is a special edition. This is just a first edition. But yeah, it's beautiful. So I got it. And hopefully I'll be reading this soon, or actually I'll probably be reading this in the fall. Yeah, I'll probably be reading this in the fall. So that's it. This is the final book. And that's it for my book haul. Final book count, I believe, is 72 or 73. Here's the final book haul number. So that's it. I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know down in the comments below if you have any of these, if you've read them, if you recommend reading any of them sooner rather than later, you know the drill. And also please like and subscribe. That would really help my new channel. All my links are down below to my Goodreads Instagram and TikTok. And thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.